Hey everyone, my name's Stephen Gould, the Chief Innovation Officer here at Travel Advisor Resource Center.
And I'm Kathy. I'm the Director of Global Partnerships with Travel Advisor Resource Center. And we have our lovely Marta, our Sales Manager for Jashita Tulum.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Stephen.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on here. I know we're here to talk a little bit more about Jashita Tulum, and one of the biggest things that comes up is that Tulum has become such a hot destination, especially over the last few years. So, what makes it such a hot spot?
Yeah, so it was only going to be a matter of time before Tulum became famous to everyone. It used to be this hidden gem, but now I guess that everyone in the world knows about it. And I think it's because it has everything you want. It has wild nature, white sandy beach, it has jungle, it has all the adventurous activities that you can possibly imagine. It has nightlife, it has an amazing culinary scene. So yeah, people know about it and they want to live the experience. And so it boomed, especially in these last 5 years, I would say.
Perfect.
Can you describe the type of guests who typically stay either at your hotel or the travel to Tulum?
Yeah, so I would like to start by describing the type of guests that visit Riviera Maya in general, because
Okay.
it's quite different when you consider Cancun and Tulum. So Cancun is more to the north, and it's made mostly of big hotels and resorts that tend to offer all-inclusive. And that's also more family friendly. So if you have a family with kids and you just want to relax, you might want to go north towards Cancun. Tulum was never really family friendly. It's mostly couples and younger people. It was born with VIPs and celebrities, so it's a much younger crowd. Sorry. And Yashita, it's somewhere in between. We tend to be more adults only. We tend to receive more couples and honeymooners, or like even more mature couples for their anniversary. But what not too many people know is that we also accept families with kids. Only we try to keep a very quiet and peaceful atmosphere, so we only accept up to 5 small kids at the same time.
Oh, that's good to know. Perfect. So I know Tulum being such a hot spot has really been growing a lot lately, and there's a lot of European planned hotels and there's a lot of all-inclusive hotels. Is it safe to walk around, and why would they stay at a European planned property versus an all-inclusive property?
So the safe to walk around, the most famous question. I would say yes, but it's not too comfortable to walk around in Tulum. And that's mostly because of the streets. We are in the middle of the jungle. And here again, we have to distinguish Tulum Beach from Yashita, because Yashita is not on the strip, it's in a private bay. But so Tulum Beach only has one road, and it's not pavimented. And in that road, you have people walking, you have trucks, you have cars, you have taxis, and you have bikes. So, and it's also 9 kilometers long, so it's not really easy to walk around. But in terms of safety, yes, I would say like anywhere else in the world, you just want to avoid maybe the middle of the night and walking by yourself, because again, you are in the jungle. And to answer your question about the all-inclusive and EP, I think Tulum just really doesn't have it's not the vibe for all-inclusive. People who come to Tulum, they come especially to explore. I guess it's two different types of traveling. I would say people that come to Tulum want to travel and explore and try different restaurants and get immersed in the culture. And then all-inclusive would be more like a holiday, I would say. So you tend to stay more into the resort. But in Tulum, you cannot help to go out. Like you have to go out and try all the different restaurants.
Beautiful.
I know. That sounds so much fun. Now, quick question about Tulum, your property, for example, you're on a bay. So do you think many clients visit Tulum also for the beach? And like, what happens if a client wants that beach experience?
Yeah, so I would say most of the people that visit Tulum, they want to see Tulum Beach because it is iconic. But with us, I guess you can get the best of both worlds, because we are in a private bay and we don't have tourists walking around, we don't get the traffic, but at the same time, we're very close to Tulum Beach. So in just a 30 minutes drive, you can be in the most vibrant and iconic part of Tulum, which is the Strip. And then when you get tired of all the tourists and all the people, you can just retire to Soliman Bay and relax and disconnect completely.
Perfect, awesome. And I know Tulum's definitely been in the news a little bit more because you guys have a lot going on, and one of the big things is your new airport. From your perspective, have you noticed like an influx of new travelers or a larger amount of people coming to Tulum since the airport's open?
So from our side, I would say not yet. I think most of our clients still fly into Cancun, but that's also because the airport in Tulum opened only in December, and just in March they've been adding more flights from the US. So it's still relatively new, let's say. But it's gonna save some time. Instead of an hour and 20 minutes drive, which is from Cancun to Jashita, not to Tulum, because from Cancun airport to Tulum beach, it would take approximately 2 hours, but Yashita is a bit before, so it's also convenient for that. And then from Tulum's airport to Yashita is going to be around 45 minutes.
Perfect.
So that saves a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a huge difference, especially with traffic.
Yeah, especially with traffic. And after long flights, if you're coming from
You
Europe,
just
like
want to get there.
you just want to get there and go to the beach. Yeah.
Now, for Tulum, your hotel itself, are there any annual events or seasons that are particularly good times to visit?
It really depends what you're looking for. If you want Tulum to be more lively and more festive, then I guess you want to visit during December or January.
Okay.
Christmas is a beautiful time, also in terms of the weather. It is not too hot, never cold, and the beach is always pristine. But New Year's tends to get a little more festive, a little more chaotic, if we can say. So if you're looking for that, then it's the best time also to party and there's a lot of like music festivals going on around December. But if you're looking instead for just a peaceful vacation and not too many people on the beach, I would say that November and March are the best months because they are the beginning and the end of the high season. So
Yeah,
yeah.
shoulder season's such a big thing, and I'm actually glad you brought that up because I'm kind of curious what type of travel trends are you guys usually seeing from the sales perspective and also just being in Tulum in general that travel advisors should be aware of?
So overall, I guess Tulum is the crowd in Tulum is getting much younger. So for travel advisor that have younger clients, I would say maybe target them more. We've seen a lot for the villas. Yashita also has villas. We've seen a lot of young groups traveling for bachelorettes parties or birthday parties. So it's not just the couples anymore. The crowd is getting younger. And well, low season is always like very last minute trips, but that has always been the case.
Very nice.
Yeah. So where in the US or Canada do you typically see your clients traveling from?
Well, from the US, I guess it's very easy. New York. Tulum was pretty much born with New Yorkers, and it's a short flight, it's 3 hours. So for them, it's going to be like a weekend trip. We also get a lot of guests from California, which I guess it's also not that long of a flight. And Texas, quite a bit. Florida, of course, our neighbors. And then from Canada, I would say Toronto.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I guess the main cities, yeah.
Very nice, very nice. I know we've talked a lot about Tulum. If you don't mind, I'd love to hear and see a little bit more about the property. If you want to jump right in, we'd love to kind of see what you have to showcase.
Absolutely. So I'm just gonna share my screen
Perfect.
and let me know if you can see well.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm gonna give you a quick tour of Yashita and tell you a little bit more about where it is located. So like I mentioned, we are not in Tulum. We are a little bit north, but it's only a 10 minutes drive from Tulum town. So we're closer to Playa del Carmen and closer to Cancun. And the bay is called Soliman Bay, is this amazing bay that you can see right here. And what's amazing about the hotel is that it wasn't always a hotel. It was born as the house of the owners. And the owners are an Italian family. And imagine like early 90s, they traveled to Tulum, which was absolutely not known back then. It was just a fisherman village. And they find this bay, they fall in love with it, and they build their own house. And then little by little, they started growing and building more, and they decided to share with families and friends and turn it into a hotel. And still today, we are the only hotel on the bay. So we managed to keep this secret quite well. We like to say we are Tulum's best kept secret. And we are in the beginning of the bay. And what is special about it is that Soliman Bay is the only one in the area where the reef is a little bit higher. So it blocks all the wave and it creates like this natural swimming pool where it's basically snorkeling paradise. And this helps us with the currents. It helps us a lot with the seaweed, which is a seasonal problem. But with us, we managed to keep it controlled because of that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And the property is small. It's a boutique. We only have 30 suites of different categories. So even at times when it's peak season, you will always feel like there's a peaceful atmosphere. It almost feels like you're the only one there. And you can always find those spots where you're by yourself and it never gets crowded. So yeah, we have different room categories. Maybe I can walk you through a few of them. The
That'd be great.
majority are the Superior Deluxe suites, which are in these two buildings. And we have those with tropical and with ocean view. The style at Jashita is very elegant, but very laid back. It is very comfortable, and it like the owners want it to feel like a home, like a house. So they themselves stay longer, very long periods of time, and they needed all the comforts possible. So despite being in the middle of nowhere, because we are very secluded and surrounded by nature, you can stay for weeks and weeks and feel at home and have all the comforts that you need.
It's absolutely gorgeous too.
Yeah, it's very elegant. So every family member of the owning family left their own touch. For example, the design is done by the wife of the owner, and all the linens that you see in the bedrooms, like the curtains, the sheets, the bathrobes, are from an Italian brand owned by the sister of our GM, and it's called Once Milano, and it's pure Italian linen. And yeah, the bathrobes,
It's
everybody.
so soft.
This is one of the ocean views, for example, and it's like the ocean is literally 2 steps away from your room. Like everything in Yashita, in 2 steps, you end up in the water pretty much. So yeah, very different from the resorts in Cancun. And on this building, which is closer to the beach, we have 4 waterfront suites, which are very nice suites. And the 2 that are on the ground floor have direct access to the beach.
Wow.
Still very private because you have all the plants in front of you. And then on top of the same building, I'm just going to show you the highest category we have. It's the Aphrodite Honeymoon Suite. And it is these 2 levels altogether. So the Aphrodite has this beautiful terrace, the suite that looks like this. Every suite at Yashita would have a king-size bed like this one. And then a beautiful terrace, again, that goes all around it. And the view is just stunning. Here you can see the whole bay. You can also see how we created a little path in between the corals here so that clients can go in the water very easily. And from there, they can just swim, grab their snorkels, their paddle boards and kayaks and go and explore. But
Perfect.
back
And
to
I know you said that it's all king size beds and everything. Do you have a max accommodation of 2 per room then, or what does that look like?
Yes, so all the suites are based on double occupancy, apart from the doubles, which we only have 3 of this category, and those have 2 king-size beds, one next to the other. I can show them to you right now. But other than that, we also have the chance to add extra individual beds in certain suites to host up to three guests. So this is one of the doubles, and that's very comfortable for like parents and kids traveling together, or a mom and daughter, or friends traveling together. And they're actually so spacious that you could also add an extra bed and make it for 5 people.
That's the room I had.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's king size. I haven't seen many, if any, with 2 beds that are king size suite.
Yeah,
King
indeed.
size
Wow,
bed.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's very, very comfortable, very spacious. Yeah. And what else can I show you? Well, of course, the beach. I would say it's the most important. So the beach at Jashita is private, is only for our guests. And despite not being the biggest beach, it's very quiet and it's so peaceful. And every guest has a sunbed available. And that's all you want. Most of our clients don't even leave the property because they have everything they were looking for right here. And at the end of the beach, we have the Adventure Shack, which is where clients can go and they can grab a paddleboard, a kayak, and their snorkels and just explore the bay. And we also have our little fishing boat, which is called Guapa. And with this one, we can take the guests to do like fishing tours or guided snorkeling, or even we can go straight from Yashita all the way to Tulum ruins by
Wow.
boat. So
Oh,
that's
know that.
approximately a 40 minutes boat ride. And then you get there, you can see the archaeological site from the ocean, which is the best way to see it. And then there's like some snorkeling involved, a little snack on the boat, and then back to Yashita.
Perfect. And I'm sure the boat is an added cost and all that. What about the non-motorized water sports like the paddle boarding and all that? Are those an additional cost or are those complimentary?
No, those are actually always included. But like you said, the tours and the boats are additional. Yeah. But we have a concierge team on site that can help all the guests and travel agents as well, of course, to organize any activity in advance or even last minute. And if it's not an activity or tour that we can provide in-house, they can arrange any activity with any external company as well. And also at the end of the beach is the spa. For the spa, we actually have 2 locations. One is this one you see, and the second one is indoors. But this one is the best. It's called Caoba Spa because it's entirely made out of caoba wood. And it's all open. On the bottom is the spa, and on the top is the yoga shala. So you can have your massage while listening to the waves, and you feel the breeze. And it's still very private because you are surrounded by plants. And again, there are no other people but our guest in Soliman Bay. And then Pandano, our restaurant, which is also very important, especially because it continues the Italian tradition of the property. So both the owner of the hotel and the owner of the restaurant are Italians, and they started this adventure together. So you're surprised, but you can find authentic Italian cuisine in Yashita, as well as authentic Mexican. And breakfast is always included. I'm gonna try to play a video. If it's too slow, maybe we can cut it, but let's try because it's worth it.
Perfect.
So yeah, here you can see like a little taste of the property. And like I was saying, breakfast is always included. It's a full breakfast a la carte. And all the food at Yashita is freshly prepared, homemade style, just like in an Italian home. And what's even more special is at night, it becomes very romantic because you're literally 2 steps away from the ocean and it's quiet and there's like candles everywhere, live music. And then at night, we also have our chef that prepares handmade pasta. So there go the Italians again. So yeah, that's just a quick taste.
I don't know about you
And
guys, but that definitely made me hungry. So
I know, that looks so good.
yeah, so our GM as well, he's a great cook. And most of the dishes that you find in the menu, he created, and he practiced the recipe and taught it to the chef. So he's always involved in the kitchen. And sometimes on Saturdays, we have like paella day on the beach.
Oh,
And if it's not the chef, it's going to be the GM cooking paella for you.
that is so cool.
Wow.
Wow, I know. It's definitely unique. I love that. I love that they get involved with the guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a different atmosphere because being a small hotel, family ran, it used to be a home, so you can really feel like that coziness and that homey feeling. And also the staff is lovely, they know you by name, and everyone feels like they're part of this family. And we're very proud to have many, many returning clients as well.
Cool. Marta, I do have a question for you. I know you mentioned that you guys have breakfast included. Do you guys offer anything like a half board or a full board or anything like that as far as meal plans at all?
No, not really. We now started offering all-inclusive packages, but only when it comes to buyouts. So if
Wow.
you have a wedding to plan or like a big event and you want to buy out the property, which is also the perfect size for a buyout and the perfect location, I would say, then in this case, the restaurant can provide all-inclusive, but still it's not going to be the regular all-inclusive. It's still going to be like very homemade and very, we give attention to the quality of the food, like, yeah, as if it was our own kitchen.
Love that. Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Marta.
And
Marta, do you want to show the rooftop pool really quick?
yes, absolutely. So the property actually has 3 swimming pools. There is the main adults only swimming pool in the middle of the property, a smaller where we also allow kids to swim. And then on the rooftop of this building is what we call 1001 Terrace.
Wow.
And this swimming pool is beautiful. It's infinity pool and facing 360 degrees. You have the ocean on front and the mangrove jungle behind you. And this rooftop can actually become private if it's rented as part of the full penthouse. So from this level up, it can all become private when you rent the Jasmine penthouse. Otherwise, on a normal basis, it's open to all the clients.
And how many people are up there? Like the maximum amount of people that can go up there?
I would say around 30 people. And that's also where we serve sangria happy hour every Sunday. And yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful setting. Also for the sunset that you can see on the other side of the jungle. It's stunning. And yeah, just to give you a quick look of the other swimming pool, it's my background actually.
Yeah.
So it's this one and it's facing the beach and the ocean from the other side.
Oh, wow.
So I showed you pretty much everything in the hotel. I don't know if you want me to quickly go to the villas and tell you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Villa.
please. Yeah.
So the villas are still relatively new, I would say. The first one was built in 2020 and the second one right after in 2021. They are off-site, so we would have to go to Aldea Sama. What you see here is Soliman Bay. And then if we drive south, we reach Tulum town, the pueblo. And that's, as I said before, it's like a 10 minutes drive. And in between Tulum town and Tulum beach, which goes all the way down here, is this part of jungle, which is now developing into, I would say, like Tulum's luxury neighborhood. And this is called Aldea Sama. It's all residential, very few cars. It's walkable, and you have like boutiques, restaurants, many luxury properties are located over there. Inside Aldea Sama, we are in La Privada, which is this gated community, and it's one of the safest. Literally, to get inside and pass the security checkpoint, you have to have a personal QR code, which our concierge will provide for you and all your guests. And also, if you have like a chef coming over or a yoga instructor, they will be giving the QR code. So, and then
Beautiful.
security cameras everywhere. So, like I said before, for example, bachelorettes group are getting more and more popular. And I get always asked, is it safe for a group of just girls? And like La Privada is the best place where you can have your bachelorettes.
Perfect.
So the villas are 2 for the moment, and we are gonna build, I think, 5 more in the future. So
Wow.
we still have some land to build. But for the moment, it's Villa Virginia and Villa Fosca, and they are twin villas. And what you see here in Peria, it's actually the union of the two houses. So they can be connected through this bridge and through a big door on the ground floor. Both houses are identical. The only difference is in the square meters. So Virginia is a little bit bigger and the rates are slightly higher. But other than that, the layout is the same and the design is the same. They both have this amazing patio in the middle of the house and a fully equipped kitchen on the ground floor. There is a second one on the rooftop. And then on the other side is the living room. The villas are very minimalistic. So we have like double height ceilings, all white walls, as you can see here. You either love it or you hate it. Personally, I love the villas. I think the design is stunning and it makes this contrast with the jungle around it, which is like so peaceful and so calming. And bedrooms, we have 4 per house. 2 are bigger, so we can add extra individual beds, which means that each house can accommodate from 8 to 10 guests. And together, 20, which is quite unusual for Tulum. And then we have the rooftops, where you have the second fully equipped kitchen. Here we can plan like a chef, barbecue night, or a little tequila tasting. You can call the mariachis and have a little, Mexican experience. However, La Privada is quite strict with with parties and loud music. So after midnight, you would have to lower the volume down. So
But
it's
that's a long time, midnight. I mean, other places is like 10 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very peaceful place. And then, of course, the swimming pool. So each house has a swimming pool. And when the two are connected, as in Peria, we would open the bridge and you can walk from one to the other very easily.
Beautiful.
Yes. So this is the villas. Maybe I can show you the video of the villas.
Absolutely.
Let me quickly go back.
And while you're doing that, let them know too that there is a shuttle.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So the villas are thought as an extension of the hotel. And we provide a round trip shuttle once a day. So they can let us know the day before if they have like any preference with the time. And they can come to the hotel and use the private beach, sort of like as if it was their own private beach club. And they also get discounts at the spa, at the restaurant. They don't have to pay the day pass, obviously. And they have a personal concierge. Just through WhatsApp, they can arrange anything they need, from taxis to restaurant bookings to private chef. We actually now also started offering rates with private chef included. But I'm just gonna let the video play so you get an idea of the style and the design.
Perfect. And Marta, while that's playing in the background, what's the average length of stay for both the hotel and the villas? Because I know you mentioned sangria only being on Sunday up in the rooftop and everything. So what does that need to look like for our clients?
Both at the hotel and at the villas, actually, the length of stay, I would say it's around 3 nights. Can you hear me well with the music on the background?
I can, yes.
Okay. It's around 3 nights. And I guess the only difference is if the guests are coming from the US or from Europe, because US is mostly 3 nights for the weekend. But from Europe, they tend to stay 5 nights at least.
This is stunning.
Gorgeous.
Do you feel relaxed?
Yes.
Good, then it's working.
The decor is beautiful.
And Marta, I know you said downstairs when it's rented as Imperia, you can rent the entire complex. Is the courtyard in the middle of, like, do the courtyards connect also, or is it just in the middle of each independent building?
So each house has its own patio, and there's actually a connecting door that goes from one patio to the other. And you can see Fosca's patio here. So over here is a connecting door. There is the corridor, and then you can enter Villa Virginia. So it's much easier to walk from one house to the other instead of going out and going all around.
Beautiful. I love that. And what are some like top attractions and activities that a lot of the guests, I know other than just going downtown Tulum and everything, what other top attractions are there around or on the properties, either of them?
So the hotel is very well located because we are closer to the main road. And I would say the furthest 20 minutes, you can find the best cenotes in the region. And there's like the Dos Ojos system, which is one of the most famous cave systems. And cenotes are a must do, if you ask me, when visiting Riviera Maya. We also, like Tulum is also close to Siancan, which is the biosphere, all the way to the end of the strip. And then past that, you get to Belize. But Siancan, I was checking, I think it's around 600, I don't remember how many hundred thousands of miles of jungle. But it's stunning over there. We can provide like tours, and you get on a boat. There's like lagoons that you can explore, and then you hop on the water. You get dragged by the current, and you can just admire all the nature around you. So nature-wise, there's all that. There's the archaeological sites, only 10 minutes away from Jashita. So before entering the town. And Tulum's archaeological site is one of the most famous because it's the only one built on the ocean. All the others were inland mostly. So that's what makes it very unique. And yeah, there is also a lot of like wellness activities to do. Tulum is very famous for wellness retreats and for yoga and all like sound healing and all that jazz. And the culinary scene, like I said before, you have everything in Tulum, from Thai to Mexican to Italian to sushi, everything you might want. And like the best quality, because Tulum was born with people from everywhere around the world. Let's say like north of Riviera Maya, so Cancun is more, let's say, American. But Tulum was born with Europeans, with New Yorkers, with Argentinians, Mexicans. So it's like a melting pot. It's like a cultural melting pot. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'd
Very,
love that. So how would you describe the overall guest experience from check-in to check-out from Jashita?
I would say very personal. And also we try to keep it as quick as possible because nobody wants to spend too much time before they get to go to the beach. But yeah, we welcome you at the front desk. Our front desk team is my colleagues Cristina and Ruby. And we now have a new member called Cecilio and Brenda, who's our front desk manager. So this is us. You'll get to know them by name, and they will like take you around the property quickly to show you where to find the restaurant, where to find the beach and the swimming pool. And then they take you to the room, and that's pretty much it. Whatever you need in Yashita, there's a QR code that will give you the WhatsApp number of the front desk.
Okay.
And guests love that because it's super easy. You don't have to call anyone. Also, we don't have phones in the rooms, so that's why we use this technique. But it's been great because yeah, it's much easier also for the room service, or if you need a taxi in advance, you can just send a WhatsApp and we're going to assist you.
It makes sense because everybody has a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
I know most of the US and Canada, I mean, depending on your provider and everything, most clients are going to have some sort of availability to use their phone in Mexico. But I mean, something like this looks like the perfect little retreat. So maybe they won't be on their phone.
That's true.
Very,
Very true.
that's a very big improvement for us, let's say, or a very big change, because back in the days, we didn't want any phones. We really pushed for the clients to like come to us and talk and get to know other guests. So it was even more like family and yeah, even with the marketing side, we've done so much. Yashita would get all the clients just by word of mouth up to 6 years ago. And then we had to catch up with all the Instagram, with all the campaigns, etc. But before that, it was really like a beautiful place in the middle of the nature, no phones, no televisions, But now, of course, you get good Wi-Fi, you get the TV, you get the AC, everything you need.
And for other things.
Right.
Yes.
Now, Marta, does Jashita Tulum offer any rewards for travel advisors selling your products?
Yes. So for us, it's always better to work direct. And then I'm in charge of the relationships with the travel advisors. And what we do is we work with an incentive model. So depending on the volume of sales per year of each travel advisor that wishes to partner up with us, we will give back a little bonus at the end of the year. So the percentage depends on the sales. And also the percentage of your commission will increase depending on how much you sell, Yashita.
Oh,
Perfect. Kathy, I think that's actually kind of a great segue. I'd love to learn more about how you can partner with different travel advisors, how we can work with you, how to grow your business with our business and everything. And I know you mentioned definitely working direct, but do you guys work with any like consortias or tour operators? And are there just a couple off the top of your head that you might be able to list?
Consortia, not really. We are select properties with Internova for a few years now, but we're not Virtuoso, we're not Serendipians. And then we do work with some tour operators, although we prefer the smaller, more boutique travel agencies, and some DMCs as well. Actually, we work a lot with DMCs. The number one partner for us is Journey Mexico. They help us sell a lot, and they're great partners. And then a bunch others DMCs as well. But again, like we are a small team and we really care about the personal touch with the clients and also with our partners. So basically, travel agents will deal with me. I am their direct contact, so they can send me requests. I will send them back quotes, and I create the bookings for their clients. Sometimes I'm even in the property. And so if they have clients over there, I can like be their personal assistant and make sure that everything is perfect so they can rest, like be assured. And yeah, so direct is always better because we like that one-to-one relationship.
Perfect. I'm glad that you said that because I'm curious too, if an advisor reaches out to you, what's an average usual turnaround time to be able to get a quote back, just to be able to let their clients know what that's looking like?
From me, 24 hours. I'm very
I
proud
love
to say. Yeah,
Yes.
I've become very quick with my emails. The latest I would reply 2 days after 48 hours.
Perfect.
But otherwise, if they're in a hurry and they want to book online, they can just send me an email afterwards saying like, hey, these are my clients. And of course, we will grant them their commission.
Perfect.
And then commission, how does that run in terms of like giving it back to the travel advisors? How do you pay travel advisors?
How we pay commission? That's done through bank transfer. We don't use the IATA system, if I am pronouncing it well.
Yeah.
So commissions are paid through bank transfers, or actually we always prefer to work with net rates because it's quicker.
Good to know.
But otherwise, yes. And also all the commission go through me. So a travel advisor can send me like a small invoice, and then I will forward it to our billing department and payment department, and they will take care of the payment. And it usually takes 3 working days.
Perfect. I mean, working with the small guys like you guys makes it a little bit easier because you're more boutiquey and there's a little bit more of a hands-on experience there. So I love that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. It's much faster, much easier.
Now
Perfect.
let's talk about groups, because and we're not talking about groups who are the buyout, like individual kind of groups. What's the maximum capacity and minimum nightly stay? Well, whether that's a yoga group or because we'll get into destination groups in a bit.
So here we don't have a strict rule in terms of maximum suites that a group can rent. I would say because the hotel is very small, if you pass half of the suites, so if it's more than 15 rooms, that we would try to push for a buyout, because whenever there's like activities involved and when the group needs a space to be used privately for them, then this affects the experience of the other clients. But if it's smaller group of like 10, 12 people, divided in like 6 suites, it's totally fine for us. And for example, they can rent the yoga shala if they need some like event space. They can rent the rooftop for like a little sunset cocktail or whatever they need. But if it's more than that, then we do push for buyouts, because in the end it's 30 suites, so it's worth it, I would say, because then you get the whole property all for your group and all to yourself.
That's awesome. Now, when you're dealing with the groups on that smaller of a scale, like something like a 6 rooms or something, is it still a contract? Are there any additional like amenities or group rates that are discounted or anything like that? Or is it kind of a case by case basis?
It's a case by case, but definitely if it's a group with multiple suites and maybe even more than 3 nights, we can obviously negotiate discounts. And in terms of special amenities, recently I have been pushing a lot so that all the clients get very personalized, like welcome letter. For travel agents, most of the time I write the welcome letter for their clients, and like fresh fruits and little touches that make the arrival special.
That's
And
awesome.
then there's always a welcome bottle of wine as well, and chocolates. So we treat them well.
Yeah, we like that. I mean, I hate to say it, those little touch points go a long way, honestly.
They do. They really, really do. It's kind of a wow factor, right? And it makes us look good.
Exactly.
Now, I mentioned you do destination weddings, but there is a maximum capacity if it's not a buyout. What is that?
For weddings, if it's not a buyout, then it's a very limited number of people that we allow. For the same reason I said before, we cannot affect the other client's experience. But we have done weddings of like 6 to 10 people max, including the judge, including the photographer, including everyone. So that can be done. Again, it's a case by case. So most of these situation we would accept during low season when the hotel is not too full. In high season, it would most likely be a buyout required.
And do you offer packages or is it all custom?
For buyouts, we do offer wedding perks. We don't have like a package per se, but we do offer perks that include discounts for all the clients in all the facilities. We include 2 complimentary nights for the bride and groom to come and visit us, and so they can start getting familiarized with the property and deciding who goes where. We offer them a complimentary save the date photo shoot. So for example, if they decide to go ahead with Jashita as a venue, they then get the 2 nights, and during these 3 nights, our photographer would go and they would take a professional photo shoot.
I love that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And another perk is with the same photographer, if they like her, and they want to go ahead for the day of the wedding, they have very exclusive rates. And then we offer for the bride and groom again a signature treatment at the spa and a romantic breakfast on the next day, set up in the terrace. It can be like a little floating tray on the plunge pool or a little extra touch. And then of course, again, the personalized amenities for all the group.
Now, do you have your own vendors? Like if they were to use their own vendors, is there an outside vendor fee that you charge?
So we do have our preferred list of vendors. And we also have our in-house wedding and event coordinator. So she can provide a list of preferred vendors. If the clients wish to take in their own trusted vendors, then there is an external vendor fee. And that is to be negotiated at the time of booking. So it again really depends on the season, on the dimension of the event.
Cool. And Martha, if it's not just an outside vendor in Tulum, what if they are traveling with their favorite photographer that they really want there or something? Is it just the extra room cost at that point, or is there usually still an extra vendor fee for something like that?
It would be the same extra vendor's fee. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That definitely makes sense. So I guess we're talking about a lot of different things here, and there's a lot of education for your property just because mean, there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn about the destination, the hotels, the villas. So how do you guys typically partner with travel advisors? Like what kind of training do you have? What kind of resources? What kind of support? All of that to kind of help them sell your property a little bit easier.
So for me, what I always try to do is I invite all the travel agents that I scout and that I get the pleasure to meet, and I try to invite them over. So, and that really makes the difference, because once you see the property, you feel like the energy, and you can understand which clients could appreciate it and which ones maybe prefer something different. And it's also important that you see the location, you try the food. So a 2 nights site inspection stay, for me, it's the best way. And from there, again, that direct relationship where I send all my partner travel agents any relevant news and special promotion for the clients. And from there, step by step, I will like guide them through the booking process.
Perfect. And I know you said that you guys have really been doing a lot over the last few years to kind of like getting more out there with social media and all that stuff. Do you guys have like just social media and marketing assets that travel advisors can utilize, whether they be the pictures, the videos that you just shared, any of this kind of resources, or what does that look like?
Absolutely. So we have a whole folder in Google Docs, in Google Drive, and there you can easily find divided by property, divided by, I don't know, facility area. So very well organized, and you get the photos, you get the videos, all the PDFs, which are very useful. And also, for example, if we launch a promotion, my marketing colleague would most likely create like a flyer. And so I would share the flyer for the travel agents to post on Instagram or on Facebook and so on.
That's good to know. Now, how would you say travel advisors can effectively communicate the value of your hotel to their potential clients?
I think the most important thing for them to communicate is the story of the place, because without the story, if you go to Yashita and you don't know the story of the property, you're missing out on something. So when you know that it used to be a house and then it's Italians running it, you get all that, you feel the energy and you feel like you're in a very special place. And also you don't have wrong expectations, in the sense that you expect like a big resort, like more the Cancun resorts, all inclusive, etc. And then it's very important also in this sense to let the clients know that we are in the middle of the nature. So like if they don't like iguanas, or if they don't like birds, if they don't like, nature and wild animals, which we have like small little, like the typical animals from Riviera Maya. So yeah, let them know we are in the jungle. So nature is what we're there for.
Perfect, perfect. So maybe including social media and other graphics and all that, are there any like innovative marketing strategies that have been really well for you and the advisor community that you've worked with?
Well, nothing too out of the ordinary. We've been investing a lot on social media campaigns and Google campaigns. But our list of partners have been growing and growing. And I have to say our partnership with TARC is working very well, because I already had many subscribers to my monthly newsletter to travel agents. So that's been
Awesome.
a success. And yeah, so just growing our relationships. And obviously social media was a big change for us, because like I said, it's new. It only has 5 years at Yashita.
Oh, good
That
to
makes
hear.
sense. That makes sense.
But within that 5 years, let's say, do you have any success stories or a case study of travel advisors who have sold your hotel?
Well, through social media, for example, we've done recently a collaboration, and we've done a giveaway, and that was very successful. And it involved us, it involved the travel agent, and also another property, which maybe Koki Koki. So it was like this collaboration. But I can't really think of anyone in particular. It's mostly like travel agents that visit the property. Soon after, they're going to end up booking, because then they know they come to Yashita and they know like, this client would love this. And that's it. And that's how it starts.
Awesome. I think from the perspective of kind of an outsider that hasn't been to the hotel, I know Kathy's been down there and everything. For all the travel advisors watching, if they literally wanted to dive into their database right now, maybe put together a newsletter, put together some social media campaigns or something like that, what do you feel would be the best way to attract that next potential client to go to Jashita?
So definitely I would say run it by me first, because I always launch special promos and exclusive promos. And so they could know it beforehand and put together a very nice offer for their clients. And yes, yeah, like we said before, they have access to all our media and they can put together a very nice offer.
Perfect, perfect.
Now, on the flip side of that, I mean, we all know that there's some objections that travel advisors might face when selling your hotel. What are some that you have heard of, and how can they overcome that?
Sometimes it's the distance from Tulum, but then it really depends on what the client is looking for. Some clients really don't mind. Others, so for example, some clients actually never leave the property because they know they want to be there. They don't care about Tulum Beach. They have good food, a nice beach, and beautiful ocean just at Yashita. Other clients, maybe the new clients mostly, they tend to stay with us the first night and then they want to go out and explore. And here is when some clients, especially the youngest, maybe they were not informed very well about the location, so they have to take the car. It's close, but it's still like a 25, 30 minutes drive to get to Tulum Beach. Tulum town is closer, but it's not the main point for activities in Tulum. Everybody wants to go to Tulum Beach. So the distances can be one. Still, we can easily call taxis. So most of the clients would rent a car, and we do have a lot of parking space at Yashita. But other than that, it's super easy for us to call a taxi, and they worked on fixed rates. But many clients complain about the prices of the taxi, but that's of course nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
And another difficult situation we may have had with what I was saying before, like expectations, depending on the nationality or what the clients were expecting. Sometimes it's more like they were expecting more of like a all-inclusive resort, and actually it's like barefoot luxury in the middle of nature, and it's two different concepts. So
Yeah, so I
really,
think
like,
a lot of it is just setting the expectation then.
Right.
setting expectations and telling the story, coming to visit us before, so you know exactly which clients could appreciate it. But that's like Tulum in general. So Tulum Beach is actually even wilder.
Yeah.
Most of the properties there have like diesel generators to run electricity. They don't, like, the water is so, internet is also not the best, but with us you get a little more comfort. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. I know you said that your subscription base with travel advisors and your partner base is kind of growing and everything right now. I know we've covered a lot in this webinar and everything, but what would you say if you could highlight the 1, 2, or 3 top questions that most travel advisors are reaching out to you for? Like, what are those major questions, and maybe provide the answer on here for them too.
So the question I hear a lot is Tulum safe? Which we said before. And yes, but I would say, especially as a girl, and I've lived in Tulum for a lot of time, I've never encountered any problem. Obviously, like in any other part of the world, in any other big city, you don't want to be by yourself in the middle of the night after a party, But other than that, yes, Tulum is safe. I guess the second question I get asked a lot is seaweed. What is Sargasso seaweed, and like when does it arrive? Is it a problem? If I send my clients in these dates, is it gonna be seaweed on the beach? And like you cannot foresee it, but obviously it's like a seasonal problem, so it tends to arrive with the hotter months, and that's from June to end of October, and then by November the beaches are cleared out. However, at Yashita, we are very lucky because of how the bay is made. So it's like curved, and the currents go towards the end of the bay. and it's also protected by the reef. So there's very little seaweed that arrives to our beach, and the little that arrives, it is quickly removed. Even at times when Cancun Beach or Tulum Beach are like inaccessible because there is a lot during the summer months. Yeah. So that's good. And then another question, I guess less important, is if the villas are beachfront. They're
Oh,
not. They're very close to the beach because you can bike to the beach. It's going to take you 20 minutes. You can, and that is Tulum Beach, obviously, or you can drive and it's 5 to 10 minutes. So that's very easy, but they're not beachfront. And then the distance from the villas to Yashita's beach to the hotel, it's 15 minutes. So that's also very convenient.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up the whole safety thing also again, because I know, especially for newer travel advisors, one of the biggest things that comes up is, can you guarantee safety? Of course you can't, but you can provide insights and experiences that you've gone on, or reaching out to your preferred vendors, like working with Marta and everything, and sharing some of these stories. But just keep in mind, guys, when it comes to safety to destinations, the best thing to do is just share the overall protocol within their destination, within their local area, as well as the area they're traveling, and just remind clients that you do have to be wary. You are traveling in another area, and just be cognizant of that stuff.
And our concierge team is very good at like providing recommendations, places to avoid and places definitely that you have to try and visit. So yeah, it always depends on where people go and what kind of places you're looking for. But we have a list of recommendations, and yeah, like you said.
that's awesome.
Perfect.
Now, how can we as travel advisors stay updated on your new offerings, promotions, updates from your hotel? Aside from us emailing you, do we get, let's say, extra perks or touch points? How can we receive that from you and your team?
So my marketing manager runs a monthly newsletter, but that's mostly for the clients. Whereas I have my own newsletter that I send out to my travel agent partners, and that's more focused obviously on travel agents. So we talk more about like how you can book this promo or relevant news and changes that happen in the property. So that's through my newsletter, and I guess that's the best way
Yeah.
to update it. And I tend not to, I try not to spam everyone too much. So it's going to be like once a month the most.
Well, why don't we tell everybody to remind everybody how they can get in touch with you here? Like, what's your email address?
Absolutely. They can just drop me an email. My email is Marta, Marta, at yashitahotel.com. And we can get in touch. And then
Perfect.
I always love to either visit travel agents or set up a video call, because then it's that face-to-face
Yeah.
that we love. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. I know we've covered a lot, like I said, and kind of just to wrap this all up and everything, what would you say is one insider tip that you can provide to travel advisors to really give their clients that exceptional experience for coming to Jashita?
Okay. So again, come to me first, because there may be a special discount coming up that you still don't know of. So I can give you like a preview of it, and we can set up a good offer for your client. I would say maybe in terms of season, try to avoid the summer months that are July, August, and September, because then it becomes much hotter and it's the beginning of the rain season, so through end of October. And I would say the best months are November for sure, like I said before, March definitely. If you want to take advantage of lower rates but still have very good weather, May is the beginning of the low season. So from May 1st, our rates will drop to low season rates. And on property, well, try to let us know beforehand what the clients want, if they have any special requirements, because again, being a small team, we can work it out. We can tailor every experience for the clients. I don't know, like we've had clients that like to work out, so we provided them with all the equipment or anything special that they might need. Come to us first. And yeah, just overall this. And maybe in terms of activities, we always try to recommend our, you know, our best activities, which are at the spa, the botanic bath. People love the botanic bath. It's one of the most unique experiences you can have because we have these, so the spa on the beach has these beautiful bathtubs that were carved out of tree trunks, and they fill them up, they put petals, they put like aloe chunks of, yeah, and then herbs so that you can rub yourself, and they give you like a whole massage.